Or stuff for my friends.
You don't think you should be punished for all of this?
Just a little bit no video games for a whole weekend. I took my drum cup because I got mad at my mom, and then I saw her how my friends are and she I yanked the thing.
Damn.
Boom.
I don't think we've ever gone to the end.
Oh, that was the end of the song.
That was the end of the song. I don't think you're on your mic. I think you're on mic. What is up, motherfuckers? This is Say I Won't Podcast Season 3. I think Episode 3. That's what I put up there because I think we're not counting one. So, Episode 3. My name is Edgar Antillon.
How's that? Is that better?
That is better. Y del otro lado del micrófono está el señor
Isaac Chase. Isaac Casa. No, not Casa. What's what would be the right Chase in Spanish?
Depends on which Mexican you ask. You're asking this Mexican, so corretear. So to chase.
Corretear?
Yeah.
I said that pretty damn good.
You did, actually.
I wasn't even like my mouth just started moving.
Because it's more like it's a casa is to hunt.
Yeah, that's better. I like that.
It is, but that's not your last name. But
I'm a hunter.
What is up? I gotta just say this shit. Tad was not the first one on this bitch today. It was Scott Pennington. He wasn't even second. Motherfucker fell to fourth. It was bound to happen, and it did fucking happen.
The fourth naysayer.
What up, Scott? What up, Joey? What up, Jake? Tad. I'll ignore my son. What up, Fletcher? Stormy. Killinger. John Flowers. What up, Michael? Will. Again, Flowers. Two Flowers. Joel Flowers and John Flowers. What's going on, guys? And everybody else that's not commenting, that's not saying anything. What's up? The haters. What up, motherfuckers? How you guys doing today?
Haters. Haterade.
Haters.
Hey, you know who has a lot of haters?
Who has a lot of haters?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this time I guess the people on the right, if you will, like him. They'll hate him next week, but this week he is their hero.
Well, yeah, the thing is he kind of just does his own thing, so he's bound to piss off everybody at some point.
What?
He doesn't follow the rules.
What?
Yeah, he's not a rule follower.
He's not a rule follower.
You a rule follower?
Because I remember when he was like, fuck gun owners, basically, with PayPal, because he owns or he used to own PayPal.
No, that's Pierre Omidyar.
No, Elon Musk started PayPal.
What?
Yeah.
No, hold on. Who started PayPal?
Elon Musk.
I thought it was Pierre Omidyar.
Nope, career. I'm sure he was part of it, but it was Elon Musk that started.
Originally
PayPal.
established by Max Levchin, Peter Thiel, and Luke Nozek.
What the fuck did
in March 2000? It merged with X.com and online.
Okay,
so it merged with Elon's bank. Yeah,
got it.
And really, who was using PayPal in 2000? Like that might as well be the beginning.
Correct, because he's the one that kind of made him. When they merged with Elon is when they started growing.
Who's Pierre Omidyar?
I don't know.
How do you even spell that? Pierre.
I guess I was kind of close. You just brought up some fucking pedophile's name.
Pierre. Anybody named Pierre? Oh, he's the current chairman of PayPal.
Oh, he's the current one. Yeah.
Yeah. He's an entrepreneur.
So when he got rid of guns, everybody was like, fuck that guy. And now he's the American hero.
Oh, he founded eBay.
He did find. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, basically Elon is saying that Elon has copied what we've been saying, which is
exactly,
if you want to go out, go out. If you want to stay home, stay home. So it's nice to know that he listens to the show. And
he does listen to the show, clearly.
Even though he didn't give us credit.
Because what he said was basically word for word.
Yeah, exactly.
Fry 88 is old. He said, I was using PayPal in 2000.
Oh, wow. On eBay? So one of the things that Jordan Peterson talks about from time to time is the fact that way back in the day when eBay first started, they had brokers that you would send your money to the broker, and the person who would send their item would send it to the broker, and then the broker would make sure everything was good and then send them on.
Huh.
But it turned out they didn't need that because they built the rating system for buyers and sellers.
Yeah.
So there's a whole industry that just completely went out of business, man. We should have bailed them out.
Richard says Elon Musk is the Tony Stark that you order from Wish.com.
What? Did you come up with that yourself?
He didn't.
That's funny.
He didn't.
Yeah. So PayPal in 2000 was pretty much eBay only. Oh, car audio stuff. Huh. How about that? Yeah. Back in 2000, I was 18? And back in 2000, man, I just saw a picture of you from about that time. 2002.
Yeah, 2002.
Yeah. You guys were an adorable little family.
Cute little family.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, cute little family.
So one of your children has turned 18 today.
18.
You have reached a milestone. Happy birthday, by the way.
Yeah,
she's listening.
She is. Yeah, 18, dude.
Wow. Seems like just yesterday she was still running around in diapers.
Yeah. I don't think you were there.
I wasn't there.
You weren't there.
He had hair, not much. He kept that cholo hair short. He had more hair on his face than he did on his head. A little mustache. Yeah. So did you guys take her out for a nice long drive today? Was that her birthday present? Her
birthday present was that we drove down to Southern Colorado. And then which by the way, we made a pit stop. Michael Aguilera, he has a shirt there with you.
Okay.
And then Tom Snyder has a shirt there with you.
Okay. Wait, I thought Tom lived in Denver.
No, Tom Snyder lives in Springs, dude. He lives he lives in the rich people's side of Springs, though.
Oh, he probably didn't tell me he lives in the Springs because he didn't want me to come to his house and bring down his property value.
Pretty much, he doesn't want peasants like you hanging out. Tom Snyder did to you what Pincus does to me.
Wave at you from across the room.
From way the fuck over there. I seen Pika's. He posted up with fucking Kevin Dixie.
Uh-huh.
Like, this motherfucker, he lives 10 minutes away from me. He's having me ship him a shirt instead of me meeting him to be fucking. But he'll drive his happy ass all the way to St. Louis just to fucking bump uglies with fucking Kevin Dixie.
Well, he likes to drive. It probably took him less time to get to St. Louis than it would have taken you to get to his place.
Shit's hilarious.
Yes. Oh wait, wow, we've got captions going on Facebook. This is how we get booted off of YouTube.
By
They're
Facebook?
Well, no, but they can do real-time captions.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy, dude.
Wow. So speaking of Elon Musk, I was listening to his episode on the Rogan podcast. And he says in 5 to 10 years, we will have fully integrated, what is it called? Animation? No. Artificial intelligence with humans. 5 to 10 years. Maybe
so?
I might have misunderstood what he said, but it scared me so bad I freaked out. So
you think so?
No, I don't think so. But I mean, he's way smarter than I am, so
Yeah,
I got to give him a little bit of credit.
I don't think he's smart. I think he's just batshit crazy, and it comes off as smart.
You don't think that guy's smart?
Elon Musk?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
You crack me up, dude.
No.
Dude, listen to him talk. You can tell he's smart because he cannot carry on a conversation with anybody.
No, though, that's what I mean. I don't think he's especially smart. I think he's just batshit crazy, and then when he just does it instead of wait around like other motherfuckers. So when it works out for him, it's just like, oh, okay. And I think a lot of people who are like him end up being successful because they just say, fuck it. Like, well, what's there to lose? I'm just going to fucking go for it. And then they say some batshit crazy things. And everyone's like, wow, he's smart. Like, no, he's just batshit crazy.
Could it be possible that he's batshit crazy and really smart?
I don't know about really smart, but I'll give him smart. I mean,
the guy runs like 3 companies at once.
Yeah. Not one of them are really profitable.
Well, he's smart enough to give him money.
That is true. But Tesla has not turned a profit at all.
No, and it probably never will.
And it probably never will. Yeah,
but
correct.
So neither does Instagram, I'm pretty sure.
No, I'm sure Instagram does turn a profit.
I don't know. I don't know if any of these big tech companies are
I think that the founders of Instagram are like, I don't give a fuck what it does right now. Like, I got my billions.
Man.
Yeah.
And all they did was create an app that just utilized the filters that were already on your phone and put them into an app.
Well, they mostly stole a lot of Snapchat shit and then just like, bam.
No, was it Snapchat? I thought it was something else.
No, they stole a lot of Snapchat features.
Okay. Yeah, so no, I think he's smart, dude. Anybody who has accomplished that much has got to be smarter than me, which means they're geniuses. I mean, for him to like figure out how to make money off tax subsidies, selling electric cars, I mean, that's pretty brilliant, man.
It's pretty smart. Yeah, I guess so.
I'll give him that. Also, he was talking about the fact that hospitals are financially incentivized right now to say that anybody who's in the hospital has the AIDS.
The AIDS?
The 2020 AIDS.
The 2020 AIDS. Yeah. We are replacing the word because we don't want to get our episodes nuked. So if you've got the vid, we're just gonna call it the AIDS.
We'll also accept video.
Video.
Yeah, I came down with the video.
That
kind of sucks. Maybe we won't use that. So people are getting tired of being inside.
Yeah, tired. Hey, what up, Lily? Let's see what else. Fright, we never said what up to him. Casey, what up? Yeah, people are sick and tired of fucking being cooped up, dude. This shit's getting nuts. Like
this house is a prison.
Sorry, that was just a big setup for me to use that.
So I I say that in our classes, like this feels like jail, like, and I've been to jail, and then there's some classes where I'm like, that's fine. They're like, no, for reals, I've been to jail. And then there's some classes that take me serious right off the bat, and it just gets fucking quiet. Like, holy shit.
Does everybody take a step back?
Step back. Yeah. You see all the white people are just like, whoa.
This certificate's still valid, right? We just get up out of here.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Fuck it. So
certificates. The C word is my favorite. Certificate.
So Summit County emails are like, hey, we got some questions about your class. We don't want to accept it. And you know me, that's like fucking Mike Tyson shit right there. And
I'll kill his children. I'll eat your baby. You're talking to the sheriff. You want me to come down there? I'll come down and eat your baby.
So I call the lady up, and I mean, poor ladies, because these, and it's usually a lady that I'm having to deal with. They're just there taking applications, and they don't set up the rules. They don't make the laws. They probably never even read the fucking laws. They just do what the sheriff tells them to do because that's who pays them. And unfortunately, that's the way it goes. So she calls out. She's like, hey, this is what's going on. We're hearing rumors. And I was like, no, the rumors you're hearing is probably from a piece of shit that doesn't know how to run his business. And then she tells me, no, it's actually other sheriff's office.
Like I said.
I was saying. And she's like, no, it's other sheriff's offices. Like, well, that's fucking pleasant. I was like, so anyways, I ended up proving to her, not only by a shit ton of videos and photographs that we have of students actually showing up to classes, because we're adapting. I mean, we can't do what other people can. I mean, if you are a new instructor or a traditional instructor, I wouldn't say we're very traditional, but you can do a class with 10 students for 3.5 hours because that's what you're used to. Most instructors in the state of Colorado, that's what you're going to do. And that's actually a pretty successful class. I mean, it's not even a shit talking thing. Having 10 students in a class as
$75 a pop.
That's great shit, man. You can afford to do it. We do them for free. Tomorrow I have 75 students registered. I can't do 3.5 hours with 10 students with 75 students. It's fucking impossible. I'm not very good at math, but there's not enough time. And one would say, well, do it multiple days. It's not productive that way. It's not effective. So anyways, we do it the way we do it. They watch a video online and then they show up to the classes and they finish off the class. They have to show up in person. It says it on our website. You have to show up in person before they even register. Hey, this is the way we're doing it. You still have to show up in person. They register for the class and it says, hey, fuckers, you still have to show up in person. And then they get an email and says, hey, fucker, here's when you can show up because you still have to show up in person. So all the evidence is there. So the fact that sheriff's office, elected officials, these are fucking elected officials in a professional capacity, spreading rumors like fucking high school kids about a private company that's basically following the law and in fact telling these motherfuckers what the law is.
Following the law more than the governor is asking them to follow the law.
Correct.
Because the governor, for those of you who may or may not know, issued an executive order about a month ago saying that they could do away with the in-person application process and the required by law fingerprints.
Correct.
And not only that, but the governor left it up to the sheriff's offices about what to do after this crisis was over. And so they could decide if they could elect if they wanted to go ahead and reprocess the application in person and get the fingerprints or not. So
I go a little bit back and forth with emails And obviously, in all of my replies, I'm CCing the attorney. And so Summit County, we take care of Summit County. Summit County's like, you know what? Talk to the attorney, talk to the sheriff. You're good to go. Not a big deal. So I write her back. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm right. In a much more polite way. Annoying as shit, but at least she reached out and was like, hey, fucker, here's what we're hearing. Here's what's going on. I want to get this shit from you. I don't want to hear third-party information. So big ups to Summit County. As annoying as that fucking shit was, at least Summit County had the balls or the ovaries to
At least you got the ovaries. You know what I'm saying?
to even now. I get a message from a student. Hey, this is what Larimer County's doing. So we hit up Larimer County. And the lady, like, she laughed. She's like, I'm just going to Weld County. Like, cause they ain't fucking around. They know what's up. They're accepting your shit. And then, so I wrote her the CRS just so she knows that it's everything's cool, that it's the sheriff's that's fucking up. She's like, no, I know. Like, I told him that I showed up to the fucking class and he still refused the certificate. So now I'm pissed. Just got her shit broken into. And now I'm having to fucking fight the government all at the same time on like 3 or 4 fronts. So call him up. And she's like, oh, not in the office. Email me. So I email her. And I email her, let her know what the fucking law was and what we were doing. Shit like that. She's like, okay, cool. Like later on in the day, this was yesterday. She replies, she's like, this is what the sheriff emailed, and I'm gonna read to you guys what he said.
What's his name?
Justin Smith. I think this is Justin Smith.
Larimer County Sheriff.
Larimer County Sheriff. Is it Justin Smith? Somebody will tell us on the yeah, I'm almost positive it's Justin Smith, Larimer County Sheriff. So anyways, he says in his email, says it would be appropriate for them, the student, to provide details of their course with specifics about how it is conducted, where it is conducted, and specific times for in-person versus video. I would require they have that statement notarized, swearing to the accuracy under the penalty of perjury, and we would look at it, understanding that any misrepresentations could be grounds for a perjury charge. Now, here's the problem with that. So I replied, obviously, because nobody's gonna fucking talk to me like that. So I replied to her and I said, I will tell the students about this. My concern is now that this adds requirements beyond those provided in CRS 1812 Part 2, which would be in violation of 1812-201 Section 3. More specifically, where it states an action or rule that encumbers the permit process by placing burdens on the applicant beyond those sworn statements and specified documents detailed in this Part 2, or that creates restrictions beyond those specified in this Part 2 is in conflict with the intent of this Part 2 and is prohibited. Clarification on the CRS, on where in the CRS it allows individual sheriff's office to require additional notarized documents, as well as single out companies and or instructors would be appreciated.
That was very kind.
So, and then of course I CC'd the attorney, and then didn't hear anything from Larimer County today. And the attorney today is like, you're fucking 100% correct. Our next move is to talk to the Larimer County attorneys and see what they're going to do about it. And then obviously the next course of action after that is sue the shit out of them. Now,
so did your attorney respond to him too, or just to you?
Just to me, because I until I officially say represent us,
it's just advice. He's not going to go out and.
It's not even advice. It's not even advice. Legally speaking, it can't even be legal advice until I agree to pay a sum of money.
Put $1 in my pocket.
Pretty much. Pretty much. And even if they said it's pro bono, like even if they said, no, we're just going to help you out, like until we officially say, yes, you are now representing me in this, they can't even give us advice. All he gave was an opinion about my reply. So either way, he is now officially on the clock again.
Okay. Let me pause real quick because somebody, Mark, was asking about Boulder County, and I tried to put the link for Boulder County Sheriff in the chat, but Boulder County Sheriff's website sucks. You can't link to individual sites within the.
If you go to gunsforeveryone.com, Mark, gunsforeveryone.com, up at the top, there's a link for permit applications. Click there, and Boulder County Sheriff is there.
So I have the link to the Boulder County Sheriff's website, but not to the concealed handgun permit
Correct.
information. So I'm going to just read this out loud. Temporary process for concealed handgun permit renewals. That is by mail. New applications by appointment only. There's nothing in here about. There's nothing in here about changes for in person. So maybe they're back to operating as normal.
Yeah, you just have to make an appointment. They're back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, in all of this, surprisingly, the ones that you would think would be a pain in the ass are actually pretty easy.
Douglas County, Boulder County, Denver County.
Correct.
Right.
Adams County.
But down here in El Paso County, where we love God, God, guns, and Trump, and freedom, the El Paso County Sheriff Bill Elder, their office is still not open, and won't be until the 15th. So somebody mentioned earlier that I think it was Michael. Yeah, Michael said that he has a rescheduled appointment for the 15th. So congratulations, you are going to be in the first group of people back to El Paso County Sheriff. So I'm sorry for interrupting. Continue the joke. I mean, the story.
So no, that's pretty much it.
So did you hear back from him after you said that?
No, we haven't heard back.
And when was that?
Because they have no, this was yesterday. They have no ground to stand on. Like, that's just the reality, is they have zero fucking ground to stand on. And this is what a lot of people need to understand, is just there's a lot of people out there that hate us. And I'm only addressing this to highlight the huge differences between why we are better. I'm not even talking in terms of criteria. Curriculum or anything like that, because I've never been to these people's classes. But we have gotten to the point where we're at by working. How many instructors did we tear down or talk shit about on social media to get where we're at? Just out of curiosity.
Let's see. None.
Oh, none? Huh. None, huh? That's interesting. Like, how many instructors were in our radar when we were coming up?
All the ones that were getting mad at us for doing what we were doing.
No, but us actively seeking other instructors, like.
Oh yeah, I mean, we were going out and working with other instructors.
Correct.
It appears to be. It appears that Adam Winch is doing pretty well out there in Grand Junction.
Very well.
And yeah, you reached out to him to work with him out there, and he was nothing but open and accommodating. And
you know who the fuck took over? Like when we, like, even now, it's just like, why even go to the fucking Western Slope?
Yeah. I mean,
why even go? Because when people are like, when are you coming back to the Western Slope? Like, we can, but Adam Winch is right there. Like, that food, he's charging $45 for his CCW class, which is more than reasonable, especially the way he does it. But my point is that we didn't seek to tear anybody down. Now, I know these sheriff's offices are getting their rumors from these particular individuals that are constantly trying to tear us down because they suck at what the fuck they do. Because they can't do it without tearing other people down. Now, here's the big difference. We have invested since 2010, really, I guess closer more to 2012. But we started in 2010. We have invested a lot of that donation money that we get, which is why it's so crucial. Like right now, we're fighting and we're having to pay attorneys That comes from student donations. Like it comes from student donations. So a lot of people can criticize, oh, this is the way you're doing classes. That's fucked up. Listen, I don't like doing the classes this way.
I tell everybody who comes in since we started doing the classes like this, I tell them all that I hate doing the class.
Fucking hate doing the classes this way. But the alternative is we don't do them because we can't effectively teach them. Now, it sucks that we're constantly having to fight, but go to those other instructors that are consistently trying to tear us down. Go see how many times they fought the government on all this shit. Go see how many times they've stood up for a student when they email and be like, hey, the sheriff's office is requiring that I take additional steps, and then we have to get the attorneys involved to make sure that they don't violate what is already in the law. We're constantly having to educate the fucking sheriff's office. I have fought, me personally, I have fought what is it? Blanca County? Which was the one in Meeker? Whatever, the one in Meeker. I think it's Blanca. Whatever. The one in Meeker, it's not Weld County.
It's not. No, that's not Grand County.
No.
I remember this. This was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, so a student emailed us there.
Because they didn't have they didn't go shooting with us.
They didn't go shooting. They were one of the few which we did do shooting that day.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically enough, they just chose not to participate. Rio Blanco County. So we fought them, and that fucker had to follow the law. The one that is in Westcliff, I forget which county that is. That Westcliff area. Fought that motherfucker over the same issue.
Mm-hmm. Fremont County.
Probably. And then Kit Carson County.
Mm-hmm.
Had to fight that fucker. Summit County kind of a little bit, had to explain our shit. Fremont, yeah.
I wonder how many sheriffs went to the governor when he issued his executive order and complained that he was not following the law. I wonder how many of these sheriffs, raised a stink about, oh, no, you got to follow the law, Mr. Governor. We need to have these fingerprints and these in-person applications. Because like it's a circle of hypocrisy is what it is. It's
correct.
It's a circular firing squad where everybody's not pointing at the middle. They're just pointing at everybody on their left.
Correct.
And the bullet's just going to keep coming around and hitting each person in the line. Yeah. So
it's getting pretty ridiculous. So there's a big contrast in what people do. And I'm getting to the point where, and I'm going to just use this as a very first warning, 100% using our platform to use this as a warning, where if what people continue to say on Reddit is slowly starting to affect the way we do business, even with the sheriff's office and the government, at some point we got to start looking at whether or not what they are saying is past opinion, and now getting to the point where we're talking about libel and getting to the point where they're about to get sued. That's
Mm-hmm.
what the fuck we're saying. So the next step is obviously a letter of cease and desist to all of these individuals, and I know they're listening. I know there's people here that are Judases, and they're gonna go and they're gonna go, oh my god, like I'm pretending to be friends with Guns for Everyone, and this is what they're doing. Y'all motherfuckers about to get sued.
And I want everybody who may be listening to hear this. If you want Edgar to stop doing this kind of stuff, leave him alone. And he'll just eventually get so bored that you will literally never hear from him again. He'll either be in Mexico or dead or something. But if you want him to keep going, just poke him a little bit. That's the whole point of the name of this podcast. Tell him he can't do something, and you're gonna regret it, man.
That's the ironic thing.
this is what makes this gets me nervous, like not really nervous, but a little bit nervous, way less nervous than I used to get, because it used to be we get an email, or you'd get an email from the sheriff's office and you'd show it to me and I'm like, oh shit, oh man, and you're like, I love it, and I'm like, okay, this could get annoying. And actually, I'm expecting this from El Paso County. They haven't opened yet. They will open on the 15th. They're going to start getting a whole bunch of these permits that are dated, or these handgun training certificates that are dated in the last 60 days, and they're going to have questions. So I'm expecting my phone to start blowing up. But I do know that the clerks over at El Paso County Sheriff's are kind to Guns for Everyone.
Correct, because they went to a class.
Yes, yeah. So, and so hopefully it won't get too out of hand, but ultimately it's up to the sheriff.
Listen, here's the fucking crazy thing. I know people who work for Polis. We're not best buddies. We're not whatever, but it's just I have ran for office and I still know people in the political arena. If I really wanted to be a cocksucker, I could just be like, I'm going to hit up Polis and be like, hey, introduce a bill where you set up a little commission of instructors, 2 or 3 instructors that are civilian board, and we decide who gets approved as instructors and who doesn't. And we decide what the curriculum is going to be.
I don't want to see that happen, because after it's all over and you've proven your point, you'll probably hang yourself.
But I have proven a point.
You'd be all stiff, heads all jerked back, and your fingers sticking out like
on my chest, fucking inscribed "Checkmate, motherfucker."
Yeah, I mean, here's what's crazy: the amount of energy that these people are putting forth to get mad and whatever it is else they do, post on Reddit all day. First of all, how do you have time to run your business if you're just monitoring a subreddit where nobody posts? I don't understand that. Second of all, like, you put your effort into figuring out how to keep your classes going, even though your benevolent government has tried to shut you down. You'd probably be busy enough that you wouldn't care what other people are doing.
You shouldn't. And that's the thing, you shouldn't. But anyways, that's all I'm going to have to say about that stuff, because I don't want to give them more thing. My whole thing was just... I
want to say one more thing. There was an instructor who initially didn't like what we were doing, and over time, on his own, realized that, and this is from his mouth, realized that
Butler?
Butler. Realized that the market we're going after is not the market he's going after, and decided to just drop any kind of frustration and just work on his own thing. And that dude's way more successful than we are, I would say.
I don't know about that, but
well,
he's successful.
He's successful.
Whether he's more or less successful, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because we're on 2 completely different things. Here's the thing: we can still work with him. Like, that's
and I send a lot of people to him. Or try to, at least.
Yeah.
Can't make people go, but
he's a prime example on what you do with your energy before,
and
then you focus on your own shit, and then you become successful. Before that, oh, dude, he was part of the reason why we did everything for free. Because a lot of his people, and I hope he's here to listen to this. This is he would have a lot of his friends come on Guns for Everyone and talk shit. So I was like, you know what? You're talking shit about the free concealed carry classes. We're gonna fucking do all the classes you do for free.
Yeah, that's right. We were doing them all for free.
Fucking everything at every fucking level. We're gonna do everything for fucking free. So we were doing advanced classes for free. We were doing the ranch classes for free. Like every fucking thing. The NRA classes for free. We were doing everything for fucking free. Just to spite this fucker. And now he's doing his own thing. Now he's like, nah, we should work together instead of fuck around like this, because it's not healthy for him. It's not healthy for us. It's not healthy for students.
And he spent the next, I would say, 5 years building his company. I mean, he was already building it before we came along. But he spent the next 5 years just focused on building his company and building his business model. And now the guy teaches multiple times per week, every week.
Every week.
And his classes are full.
Full.
And he's doing that across all different time frames. Like summertime he's busy, wintertime he's busy.
Correct.
You know. And I'm super happy. And I send people every time somebody asks me where else they can train. His name is usually first or second out of my mouth, depending on what people want for training.
I told you this when you guys had that flashlight class.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying this a little bit out of selfishness and self-glorification, but mostly to understand that this is the way shit works. This is the way shit should work. And I told you this, so you are living proof. Like, hey, how was it? Was it good? Was it not? I have this weird obsession with him succeeding.
Yeah. So either he performs some kind of mental kung fu on you, some judo, or you have a genuine interest in other people succeeding. I can say from experience, half the reason why you're still doing this is because you want me to do it and succeed at it.
Yeah, I mean, it just, that has a little bit to do with it. Absolutely.
Maybe not half, maybe like 35%. But no, there's been times where you were just like, no, I'm not going to take no for an answer. And you would bend over backwards to keep me in this and keep me going. And
that's why my back hurts.
That's why, because from carrying me. And like, that's what a lot of people don't know about you is like you genuinely want other people to be successful. Maybe not as successful as you, but still. there's a like, I just recently started to realize how fucking competitive I am with it. And it's all maybe that's what it is. Maybe you just want competition that's worthy of your narcissistic ass. Telling me Elon Musk is not smart. This guy.
He's all right.
This guy. Yeah.
He's all right.
So the businesses are reopening slowly.
Nice.
And so far we don't have a huge wave of people dying. Do you suspect that that's going to happen?
I don't think the media gives a fuck anymore.
No.
So because of that, I don't think we're going to see it the way we did before. So every morning, I kind of unfortunately fell into the game of scrolling on Facebook, not anywhere else on Facebook, to see what the fuck people were saying. And there was a few news outlets that are like, oh, daily fucking COVID updates, like daily. And then all of a sudden there was no more. And their slogan would be like, as long as it takes.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be updating you as long as it takes. That's kind of what they kept saying, as long as it takes. And then all of a sudden they were making tortillas in the morning instead of doing the updates for COVID-19.
So on that note, right when things started to get really scary here and dangerous and everybody was starting to freak out, I'd go to New York Times and I'd go to the Washington Post, and all of a sudden there was no paywall anymore. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And they would put up a little note when you landed on the page. It says, just so that we can keep everybody informed during this perilous time, we're going to remove the paywall, because we really want the people to have the information.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know how long that lasted?
A week.
Like a week. I go back on. It's like, nah, you still got to pay to see this stuff. Your virtue signaling doesn't pay the bills.
And more on this deadly story right after these 99 cents.
Yeah. So I have to agree. I think they're moving on. I think that they are going to. Well, I think it's a possibility that they're going to try to use this to impeach Trump again if he wins the election. They're gonna tear apart his response to the crisis to try to impeach him again, which will just be a continuation of the circus we've seen so far. I don't think anything groundbreaking is going to happen, but I think the people are getting a little edgy. And I'll tell you why. I went out to Home Depot and to Harbor Freight the other day. And while I was in line to go into Home Depot, there was some irritable people in line. And then while I'm inside, the woman behind me is yelling at the woman behind her for standing too close to her. I'm not even joking. She's like, "You are not far. That is not 6 feet." And the lady's like, "I'm 6 feet away." "No, you're not." And I was just like, "Whoa, that is crazy." And then something else happened. Something in the parking lot happened. Somebody got pissed off about something in the parking lot. And then I went to Harbor Freight, and the lady behind the counter called me up. I was in line. She called me up, but I was like, "I'm not next. This person's next." She got all snippy with me because I didn't steal somebody else's turn in line. And so as I'm moving into the line to make it clear that I'm not going to go walk up there, the guy in front of me goes up to this other clerk and he asks him about a coupon, and the guy gets a little snippy with him about the coupon. He's like, "Yeah, this coupon doesn't work. I don't know. I don't know. I just work here," kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "Well, you don't have to yell at me." And he's like, "I'm not yelling at you." He goes, "Yeah, you are. You better watch yourself. I'll kick your fucking ass." He's yelling at him. Like, he's walking away, and the guy's like yelling at him. He's like, "You can get out of the store." I'm like, this is 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, I've seen like 3 near fights happen in the store. And I'm like, what is going on around here? I think people are just I think they're overstimulated by all this terrifying news that they keep reading.
Correct.
And it's put them on edge. And then on top of that, they feel like they're being lied to on some level. They don't know who's lying to them, but they know somebody's lying to them.
They're being had.
And their lives are a mess because, they don't have enough money. They're out of work. They're not sure what's going on. They're afraid of dying. And so
that's why it's better just leave shit alone, dude. Just let nature do what nature does. I mean, it's fucked up. It's horrible.
If you go to work and you get sick and you die, everybody's going to be mad at the virus that killed you.
Oh, dude, that's the one thing that's pissing me off. 60% of businesses are closing down due to coronavirus. Nah, that's not why they're closing down.
Joel says flim flam.
Like that is not why they're closing down.
Yeah. They're closing down because they're told that they have to.
And economically, they just can't sustain not getting paid.
I heard that there's restaurants who can't bring their employees back now because their employees are making more on unemployment that they were.
They won't come back
as a waiter. And
the unemployment is set up to where if you're afraid of an unsafe environment, that you can continue collecting unemployment.
Yeah. Yeah. How much sense does that make?
Like it's crazy. Like if you're afraid of going to work, we're just going to give you unemployment. It's sad. You and I were talking about this because we know somebody who filed for unemployment. And
his name is Old Dirty Bastard.
Old Dirty Bastard. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what we should call him. ODB. That is a good nickname. So ODB qualified for his for unemployment due to the circumstances. And so we were talking to this individual. This individual is getting $600 a week. Mm-hmm. For his inconvenience in all of this pandemic thing.
How dare you? Where's my $600?
And then on top of that, they are saying that they might give this individual another $600 on top of that. So that's $1,200. So that one's not guaranteed yet. It hasn't it hasn't been fully approved and all that stuff, so it's not like 100% finalized. But that's $1,200 a week now. But if we look at just the $600 a week, if we just look at the $600 a week, if you are content with living off of $600 a week, and I'm not saying money's everything, and I'm not saying you should be a greedy fucking pig and stuff like that. Like $600 is better than $0, I suppose. But if you're at a point where it's just like, nah, I'd rather just take the $600 and like stall my entire life and just be stagnant at $600, like there is something like wired completely wrong, because you should strive to be a lot more than $600 a week. It just, and it's not even just the monetary thing. It's just like a progression thing. It just, I tell my kids this all the fucking time. Like, I don't make a fuck ton of money. I'm not a rich individual. Obviously, I live in the fucking warehouse. But I've done
down by the river.
Down by the river.
A little. Kind of.
I've done probably better than my parents did. So I tell my kids that there's been you and I have done advanced classes and stuff like that, and it's just like, holy shit, we did pretty good in these advanced classes, or some of the free concealed carry classes, surprises and shit like that. It's just like, you guys have to get to the point where you look at what I make and like, my dad was a fucking peasant. Like that fucker didn't make any fucking money. He's a fucking peon.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not even.
Yeah. And I want to reiterate, there's nothing wrong with earning $600 a week.
Correct.
If that's where you're at and that's what you're making,
correct,
like that's $2,400 a month. Like, well, before taxes, but let's say your take home is $600 or whatever. Yeah. Regardless, if you're out there working for it and that's what you make, then that's one thing. But if you're content to just waste your time and sit on your butt for that $600 and say, well, this is better than working, your priorities are messed up. Because you're really just selling yourself way short. Now, if you were really, really smart, you would do what Elon Musk would do, which is collect your $600 and start a multi-billion-dollar company. Yeah. You would take all that time where you should be working, and you'd be tracking down some venture capital to go like support your next big idea, like flying to Mars. Like that's ever going to happen? Like, listen, the moon, that was easy. Okay. That was easy. We're going to Mars, man. We're going to Mars. And I tell you what, first person to Mars wins, man. So don't you want to be on that train?
14 kilobyte computer on fucking moon landing.
Or as I heard it,
terabyte.
I heard it put the other day, some Tinker Toys and aluminum foil. That's how we landed on the moon. You're like, no, we're going to Mars. Look, you've got $8 billion. You can spare $500 million for me. I promise you, you give me this money, we're going to Mars. The whole time you're collecting that $600 unemployment check. Like that is Elon Musk level smart. Correct. Right there. That's what you should be doing. If you're getting $600 a week and you're going to stay unemployed, you better be making money under the table. You better be looking out for another way to, or maybe you should be taking some online classes or something to get yourself in a position where you can do better.
This is a quote. Oh, there's another quote for my quote page. If you don't know about my quote page, if you want to add quotes to my quote page, it is what is it, Edgar? Edgar on the own quotes, what is it? Quotes.net, and then just type in my name. People could put my quotes there. So I did say this. If you're okay with the government taking care of you, I'll go around house you.
So that reminds me, I watched Zookeeper for the first time. I don't know if you have seen Zookeeper. It's one of those stupid family movies that made me laugh the entire time.
Oh, no, the one I was thinking about is We Own a Zoo or some shit.
Oh, yeah. No, this is Kevin James. And so at one point he tells he tells a guy if he does something again, he's going to go to his house and beat him up in front of his mom. And he ends up doing it. It's hilarious. So Shamel, is it Shamel Pena?
Shamel Pena.
She says she went to Mars twice. Sorry. Shamel. I've never heard this name before.
Shamel Pena.
He's
from Puerto Rico.
Went to Mars twice. I want to hear that whole story. And Richard said Boeing challenged Musk on Twitter, saying he's going to beat him to Mars.
Hey,
Elon-
Tom. Just really quick, Tom. Your shirt is over with Isaac. Your shirt's over with Isaac at the store. 5249 Galley Road. Or you guys have each other's numbers, right?
Yeah. But that might be the hood. He might want me to mail it to him.
He's not gonna go down to that shit.
That neighborhood is definitely sketchy.
Oh, dude.
It doesn't look like it, but it is.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
It's sketchy.
Any neighborhood within a mile of a Walmart is sketchy.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So yeah, Tom, if you want to come by tomorrow between 9 and 11, I'll be at the classroom, 5249 Galley Road. I just invited everybody to come fight me. You know where I'll be tomorrow, 9 to 11. I was across the street from there ordering my suppressor. What? Oh, over at Springs Armory. Oh, yeah. So, I think I mentioned this. I went to Springs Armory last time.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, and that place was hopping, full of people who were taking advantage of their service, but not actually buying anything.
Not buying anything.
Oh, that would have been the cue for the Tourette's thing.
What up, JT?
JT. Yeah. So, what were we talking about?
Elon Musk.
Oh, people. Oh, unemployment. So this story about this guy getting shot in the back of the head, this security guard at Family Dollar. I wanted to talk about this.
Edgar, do you have a ticket? A ticket for what?
To the gun show.
To the gun show. Wow.
She flexes. Yeah. So, did you see the story about this security guard at Family Dollar who got shot in the back of the head?
Dude. Yeah.
And the reason I wanted to bring this up, hey Dimitri, good to see you, man. Is
Adrian, what up?
You worked in the exact same capacity at Rainbow.
Yeah.
Retail security guard.
Yeah, we were hired to go to a shop in Aurora, more specifically. This is a national brand of urban clothing, and they have spots everywhere. One in Sloan's Lake they had, and
I've seen them around. I can't remember where.
Yeah.
Now.
So, anyways, we got hired to go there because there's a lot of robberies, and we got into some shit there.
Yeah. So you had an encounter. I don't know what to call it.
It was an encounter.
You had a self-defense experience.
A self-defense experience that ended up with people going to the jail time.
And not you this time?
No, not me this time.
And it wasn't the same circumstances. You didn't tell somebody to leave and they came back and to shoot you.
No, they were there to rob.
It was a robbery.
Yeah,
but I think really more interesting is like the idea of being a security guard in that situation. Like an armed security guard, just waiting for the place to get robbed?
Pretty much.
That's crazy.
You were there specifically. You weren't there. You weren't there for. Hey, what up, Steve? Steve's cool. That motherfucker's cool as fuck. Haven't seen him in a while, but yeah. So you're basically waiting. You're not there for anti-theft. You don't give a fuck if people steal belts and shit like that. You are essentially there to get into a shootout. That's basically
assuming that the guy who comes to rob the place has a gun that's ready to fire.
Correct.
Which in this case
did
not happen.
The case.
It did not happen. So I want to tell the story, but I don't want to get it wrong. So I'm going to tell it from memory, but you're going to be like, no, that's not what happened.
Probably what happened.
So you were there, minding your business.
Minding my own motherfucking business. This was early too. I think they had just opened.
Checking out the Instagram feeds, probably looking at.
I don't think I was on Instagram then.
looking at inappropriate pictures on the internet, and one or two
Maybe.
guys come in to rob the place.
It was a couple of them.
Couple guys. And how did they know? Like, they must have known you were there because one of them came up to you right away, right?
Correct. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty hard not to know that we were there, especially if you're looking at. But if you're, it's not tough. I mean, we can speculate and say
You had
it
a
was an
yellow
inside-
shirt on, right?
No, it was a blue one.
Oh, okay.
We can speculate and say, oh, it was an inside job or whatever. But it's at the end of the day, it's really not tough to see through a fucking window.
Right. Or
Into
even
it.
walk in, turn around, walk back out, and then be like, all right, here's what we're going to do.
Correct.
So-
So
One of them comes up to you and basically, from how far away, points a gun at your eyeballs.
yeah.
Like a few feet away, a couple feet away.
Yeah, it wasn't far at all. Hey, what up, Jamie? Yeah.
So your reaction was to carefully look down the barrel of this gun,
Well,
grab
and it
your-
was weird because
pull your flashlight out and scope the barrel.
it was weird because it was yeah, exactly. Like, hey, buddy, they're like, there's nothing in there. It's one of those weird things that you can't explain why the fucking happened and why it that's what your mind went to. That it's just your senses, and every single time. This is unfortunately, I've been involved in now 4 major circumstances, 4 major things.
5.
Which one?
Don't forget the time in the King Supers parking lot, you versus the trunk of your car.
Oh yeah. and I won. So I 4 major circumstances, and every single time, this is what I talk about in classes, is because when people ask me like, what should I do if this happens? Like, I don't know, dude. Like, I can't tell you because I've been in 4 different quote unquote major circumstances. And every single time it required a different side of me. Like it invoked different emotions. It invoked different senses. It invoked different things. Like what happened to us on 2 Saturdays ago on the 25th. Like that particular time, like this time I can't remember how I held the gun. I can't remember much. The only thing I remember is very vaguely is putting my fucking underwear on and then requesting a gun from my wife.
I need guns.
I need guns.
Lots of guns.
So it happened.
Matrix reference.
So truck crashes in. Wife wakes up.
Hold on. We need to point this thing out. That didn't wake you up.
No, fuck
Somebody
no.
driving through the front of your building did
No.
not wake you up.
My wife screaming did. No, this is what I've always talked about. I never have I ever locked up my guns for my older kids. The younger kid, I'm much more careful with and much more conscious of keeping guns away from her.
Yeah, because otherwise the chip sales will be through the roof. You be walking around pointing a gun at somebody. Hey, did you forget about me?
Hey, is that my tip?
I'll just keep the change. How about that?
Thank you. So, and this was like within seconds of the car crashing. It happened within seconds. Wife wakes up. Then I wake up and I ask her what the fuck's going on. At this point, I hear the glass crashing. And I'm like, holy fuck, one of my kids is hurt. Like, that's the first thing. Like, what the fuck just happened to one of my kids? And it's just the most horrific fucking thing I remember. Like, fuck, like I've got a decapitated kid or something happened. And then it almost instantly, like, again, mind you, from the time they crash in to the time where I'm just going to say we scare them off. I'm just going to leave it.
Hey,
We're
get out of here.
We're just going to leave it at that. As from that point, it was not more than a minute. So you're talking a matter of seconds where I'm like, holy fuck, one of my kids is hurt, to like, wait a minute, they're not here. What the fuck else is going on? And she's like, somebody's somebody's here or some shit like that. So then I said, get the fucking gun. And and then this, she's like, what? I was like, get me a fucking gun. Because now I'm trying to put my dick away. Because I'm going to fight you, but I mean, I don't want to get it. Like, I don't want you to get the wrong
want to be
impression.
the second gun store owner to get caught getting his ass beat butt naked.
Oh, no, I wasn't going to get my ass beat.
Oh, we don't know that until you walk out there.
And then
you could get jumped, be like, there he is, and he's naked.
And he's naked. Now I'm going to put it in your butt, fool.
I know.
And then, so the only thing that I consciously remember that I was consciously doing this particular time was planning my next move. So if you watch the video, which nobody will ever watch the video, but if you watch the video,
come on, you're not going to send it over to Mike Correa?
Oh yeah, I'm going to send it to Mike Correa. No, and it's not even about that. It's just it's not something that I want to necessarily glorify or relive or I think it's kind of sadistic for people to kind of want to obsess over. Oh, like I want to know what the fuck happened. Like, so anyways, I get pretty tactical with my confrontation of these individuals, and I don't remember that. I don't remember how I held the gun. I don't remember. In fact, the only reason I ever rewatched the video, 2 reasons. One, to get the clip to show the cops, and then the other one to see what the fuck I did. Just because I didn't remember shit, but I do remember at that very moment thinking, okay, if this happens, this is what's going to happen, and if this happens, this is what's going to happen. So I was already planning kind of the next move and the next step, because it was just that's just what it was. The whole Rainbow situation, that was more of a situation of I need to fucking change the dynamic here. I don't want to be the one with the
I feel like we got off on the wrong foot. Let's start over. We'll start with you on the ground and me on top of you. How about that?
And to this day, I still don't know why my eyes went down the fucking barrel. Like I still don't know why. That's one of the things I looked at, but it was, and it worked out in my favor. It was
also emotionally speaking, in that situation, that happened at one point in the year, and not that long after it, you had an encounter where some guys were trying to run you down in a car or rob you, and you pulled your gun on them, and you said you were more scared in the second scenario than you were in the scenario where you had a gun pointed at your face.
Correct. I was like the first scenario that happened, it was more of a like, well, that fucking sucked. It wasn't pleasant. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't not something I want to experience again. I don't want to mulligan on that bitch. And then when the 3 dudes in that car wanted to run me down, the idea of me being seconds away, like seconds, 1, 2. I'm not talking about 5, 10, 20. I'm talking about 1, 2 at the most, from having to fucking shoot the shit out of somebody while I'm fucking watching their face, was fucking terrifying. Not because I was afraid of performing, but because I don't carry a gun to kill people. That's not a desire that I have to kill people. I've killed my own food. I've went in the backyard and I've fucking slaughtered bunnies, and I've slaughtered chickens, and I've killed a goat, and I've helped my uncle axe chickens and fucking slice a pig's fucking throat. It's not for me, it has never been a thrilling experience. For me, it has always been like, fuck, that shit sucked. Emotionally, I used to, at a certain point, I used to make fun of the people that you would see hunt, and then they would kind of ritualistic go to the fucking their kill and be like, oh, thanks, buddy. Like, I appreciate you.
Paint their face with the blood.
Correct.
Everybody takes a bite of the liver.
Yeah. And then at some point you're like, I get it. Like I get that connection of that shit was intense. I had to hunt you down. I had to work for you. in one way or another, I'm invested in this slaughter just so that I can eat. Like, it means something. It's something that you do appreciate. So me having this idea of wanting to kill somebody is just not there until you fuck with my family.
Right.
And then
So completely different dynamic.
and
couple weeks ago.
when you fuck with my family, I want to play Slinky with your fucking throat.
Mm-hmm.
Like
yeah,
you
I mentioned this after the podcast was over last week. We were talking about this, and I mentioned that when I was not home one day and somebody tried to break into my house while my wife and kids were there, and I got home. I didn't find out about it until I got home, and I found out about it, and I spent the next probably 2 weeks hoping that they would come back.
Yeah. It's not even about TVs. It's not even about any of that shit. It's just you violated my family.
Mm-hmm.
And
I didn't want them to come back because I wanted to kill. I wanted them to come back so I would know that the problem would never be a problem again.
correct.
That's what I was concerned about.
Correct.
I just wanted a resolution that was different than me just waiting, for something bad to happen.
Correct.
But I was totally ready. I was like, I hope they come back tonight. I'll be ready. And I had a similar experience. Again, like this, nothing ever happened. But I had a similar experience where I was waiting for someone to show up at my sister's house.
Oh, I remember that time. I was pissed off at you so much.
for not inviting you, or
yes.
what?
I think it took me like a week to get over that shit. I don't think I've ever told you, but like for a week, I was like, this piece of shit.
This was a while ago now. Yeah.
Because I remember you telling me you were there like till fucking 4 or 5 in the morning waiting for something to go down. I was like, motherfucker,
Long story short, my retard brother-in-law pissed off a couple of drug dealers and managed to do this after they came to his house to sell him drugs. And he might be a retard, but that's still my family sitting over there. And he's my retard. He threatened them over the phone. And he comes to me afterwards. Did I make a mistake? No, you didn't. You're fine. Nothing's going to happen. Just go to sleep.
Here you are with Mr. Draco.
I sitting on my porch all night with an AK, waiting for these retards to come.
Like only a white dude can, by the way. Fucking on the porch of his fucking house in front, just chilling,
whistling Dixie. And the whole time I'm sitting there thinking, am I the retard?
And you're
I'm like, I might be the retard, but I'm still gonna stay here.
And you're in this weird predicament. What the fuck are you gonna do? Call the cops? Be like, so my brother-in-law pissed off his drug dealer.
And I was like, I mean, I played it out in my head a few times. I'm like, well, what if this and what if this? And I was like, you know what? You're gonna have to just not think about this. You're just gonna have to wait for them to show up, and then you're just gonna have to react to it and stop planning out what you're gonna do. Because I realized in that moment that I had no idea what I was really gonna do. All I knew was that I was ready to do whatever I had to do.
Correct.
But I wasn't sure I was gonna know what that was in the moment. Retard. It's very nice you invite a retard on your podcast.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
But it's like if somebody, I mean, I've had stuff stolen from me. Like I went out to my car. This has happened a few times since I moved into my house. I go out to my car. I forgot to lock the door. The door is partway open and my glove box is all rummaged through and everything. And I'm like, that sucks. Like I'm annoyed.
Correct.
But like if they steal my car, they steal what's in my car. I'm like, you know what? I'm stupid for leaving my door unlocked.
Correct.
I'm not gonna sit and wait in the window for them to come back.
Correct.
It's just a car. It's no big deal. In fact, did you hear about this guy in Atlanta that got killed by these two? Speaking of retards, these two guys that chased him down and shot him.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're not only not protecting their lives, they're not even protecting their own property. They're protecting somebody else's property.
which, by the way, wasn't at the property. It was in the middle of the fucking street with shotguns. Can you imagine two fuckers come up to you with shotguns, be like, "Hey, we want to talk to you."
Yeah. I'm already good at running. I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Like that guy was almost a professional runner. Yeah. And the thing is they're not really protecting the property.
Anything. Yeah.
They're protecting their own fragile, fearful egos.
Correct.
And whether or not race had anything to do with it, it may or may not have. But on top of that, they were just looking for an excuse to prove themselves, or they were in their own hearts, they were terrified for no good reason.
Correct.
Of somebody stealing from a construction site. I mean, come on.
And this is where a lot of people can't wrap their heads around. There's a huge difference between you going in and stealing tools at a construction site, even if that was happening, because they said it had happened before, some fishing rods or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like that sucks. Like nobody's justifying that. Nobody's saying this is cool. Nobody's saying continue that shit or whatever. But it's a different dynamic when this individual is legitimately putting other people at risk. So I hear that all the time. What Casey said, "Your home's your castle, make my day," all that stuff. Like there's a big difference between somebody coming in and stealing my TV while I'm not home. It sucks. It's not pleasant. It's happened to me. Happened to me as a kid. Went to go play and then come back. I was like gone maybe 30 minutes, and then come back.
Did you go break into your house?
Yeah, it was just like when I lived on Colfax. So I was fucking 10, 11 years old. Go home alone because that's what Mexicans do.
Wait. How old?
10 or 11.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I thought you said 13.
No, 10 or 11. And then so come back and your fucking TV is gone and your fucking porn box is gone and all that shit. Like, it's not pleasant. It's not.
Like, man, I worked a double shift for that TV.
Like, especially back then, I'm sure. And it sucks, but it's very different than had I been there.
Well, and you told me a couple weeks ago after this all happened, your reaction had Tisha not woken you up screaming. Had you been there by yourself, you'd have probably helped them load the truck.
They were like, "Hey, buddy, like you're forgetting all this shit."
Yeah.
Like,
hey, make
this.
sure you only steal the stuff that's insured, please. Okay. All this consignment stuff, this ain't insured. You can have everything else though.
Like, this is the good one right here. Like, no, buddy, that's a high point. You ain't gonna get shit for that one.
That's a Glock 40. You don't want that.
And then I would be like, "Hey, dude, can you like help me pay for the fucking window? Like, it's just like you're gonna make money. Like, it's just help me pay for this shit. I won't tell if you won't tell type situation."
You know anybody with a construction company? I bet we can work out some kind of fraud with the insurance company. But the reaction was totally different because you woke up to your wife screaming.
Oh,
and it triggers that response in you of like everybody dying tonight. Like whatever I got to do to make her stop screaming in a nice way, not like slap, get a hold of yourself, woman.
No, it was not. It's different. It's just very different. And
you said too, you thought something was wrong with something was happening to your kids, even though your kids weren't even there.
No,
like it triggered that in you. Waking up to that. I mean, that's pretty intense, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, dude. It wasn't pleasant, but it was. I've already I had already been in other circumstances, and this one was it's just different.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to explain it to students who have never been in any situation. And it's also hard to explain it to students who have been in one circumstance where they're like, well, I've already done this. I had one student, he ended up having to kill somebody because they were fucking with his mom. Cleared and all that stuff. He was that happened before he was a student.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he had this kind of tough guy thing, like, oh, I already killed someone. Like, it's gonna be different next time, dude. Hopefully it never happens again.
Mm-hmm.
But you also can't go in it with this mentality like, I've already killed someone, so I can do it again. Because it's just that's not the goal.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the goal. Like, you should be in a position where you want to prevent that from even escalating to where you need to shoot someone.
Mm-hmm.
And the next time, it's gonna require different emotions. It's going to require different. Again, my senses in every single circumstance were different. I remember when I was at Jeffco, and we had about I'd say close to 1,000 people get into a fucking brawl. Like fucking fights everywhere. Fucking fights everywhere. And here we are, 5 fucking peons trying
hired security too. Like, it's your job to make sure this kind of stuff doesn't happen.
So we're fucking fighting, and then one dude decides that he's gonna reach for my gun. So he goes out and he fucking grabs the gun. That situation was slow-mo. That situation was like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? He had a broken nose, but other than that, like he like nothing else happened. Like nothing else needed to happen. Nothing else. He went to jail. The cops, all they said is like, what happened to his nose? I was like, I don't know. Weirdest fucking thing. He tried grabbing my gun.
Slipped in the shower.
Weirdest fucking thing. Like it just. I wish I could say that. Like, I've had to beat the shit out of a lot of people. And it's not once have I ever done it other than just in self-defense. I probably could have gotten away with a lot of ass whoopings, but every single time it was different. And that's why it's important, one, to understand what the law is, not because you sit there and consider, I wonder what the fucking law says about this. Not because of that, because then you should, anyways, in my opinion, based off of my experiences, kind of develop a plan that's kind of not caters to the law, but kind of works within
at least you're thinking about it as you're developing the plan.
Correct. And then just for personal knowledge too, just to understand what the law actually is.
Yeah.
In case you got to sue those motherfuckers.
So on that note, without getting off track, but we do our class normally about 3 hours, sometimes longer. Sometimes
by the way, last week we said we were going to talk about this, and we really didn't talk about it. And now the people that are actually here got to hear what the fuck happened.
Yeah, because everybody expected one thing, got to do something else. So in our class, both of us spend about an hour talking about deadly force and concealed carry law, even though you could cover all of it in 15 minutes if you really wanted to. But I think both of us feel like it's important to...
Dude, I've never understood the instructors who are like, I'm going to spend an hour teaching you how to shoot 20 rounds at a paper target, which is cool. Whatever, if that's how you want to do your class. I'm going to spend an hour and only spend 15 minutes talking to you about what the laws are.
Yeah.
Like for me in a concealed carry class, I want to talk to you about everything. And I want to spend with you as equal amount of times talking to you about shooting as I do talk to you about the law. I've never understood the instructors who say like, oh, the law's easy. It's just that should only take maybe 30 minutes to talk about the law. There's no fucking time where I've been comfortable teaching the laws in 30 minutes. Never.
On top of that, that's where almost all the questions in every class come from, is about the law. And we spend a lot of time reading the law, talking about the law, defending our position on what we understand to be the law, explaining it to people. And I feel like if the moment ever comes where I've got to do something, part of me is going to be like, oh, you forgot all the important stuff, like whatever's in there, you forgot it. And then people come into these classes and we spend a fair amount of time talking about it, but they walk out of there and that's probably the only legitimately informed discussion they're ever going to have about it. And then they're going to go on from there and be like, they're going to remember about 10% of what you said. None of them are going to go read the law. Hopefully some of them do, but most of them won't. And they're going to tell people and they're going to formulate their plan based on this. And it's like, okay, yeah, I could spend time with you teaching you how to shoot the gun, but we cannot force people to really carefully consider the law and how it applies to their self-defense plan.
Correct.
We can't. I mean, anything you do is not going to be enough. Short of them becoming an instructor and caring about it as much as you do, they're just not going to give it enough thought. So I don't understand how many, how instructors get pissed off that we don't cover enough. And like the most important part, none of us can possibly cover enough on it.
And here's what I've talked about before. And the reason why I emphasize the law in our concealed carry class a lot more than I do, say, choosing a gun or choosing a holster. Because I've had students like, especially now that you have your video and I have my video, it's been easy for me to be like, hey, I think Isaac, if you're a brand new individual, I think Isaac does a slightly better job for the absolute beginner on this subject. Go watch his video instead of watching mine. I didn't spend that much time on it because and by the way, I don't think you spend a shit ton more time than I do on it. You break it down a little bit better than I do. But if you fuck up, if we teach you for 15-20 minutes about holsters and you fuck up and you get the wrong holster, not the end of the world.
Also, something you're going to correct probably pretty quickly.
It's not correct.
Without our help.
Yeah, because then now you're like, oh shit, this isn't the right holster for me. Isaac and Edgar are both dumb fucks. I'm gonna go grab a better holster. Because first of all, I can't choose what holster is right for you. Isaac can't choose what holster. We can only guide individuals to what we feel is best based off of our experiences. But if we give you a rushed, half-assed explanation of the law, and we fuck up in providing you good information in the law, and you do some stupid shit based off of the information that we provide you, which was rushed and half-assed and all that stuff, you're looking at jail time. Like it is, we can't fucking mulligan this. We can't say like, oh shit, let's try this again. Like you are looking at fucking jail time here.
Also, I want to point out that, I mean, I don't know if you covered this in your description of the law. I don't remember hearing you say this, but it is in there. We're not liable for anything we say. So if you misunderstand us or you're not listening or we're flat out wrong, we're not liable for that. You are.
Yeah. And that's not I don't think you're saying it in a manner where it's like you're fucked, you're on your own. It's just a matter of like, you better pay attention.
Yeah. Because it's totally on you to understand this and get this right. And I take that pretty, I tell people that when I cover the law, I say, here's the most important part of the law. I'm not liable. You can't go to the judge and say, oh, the firearms instructor told me. You're responsible for knowing this, not me.
Correct.
I'm going to tell you what it says, but if you walk out of here not understanding it, then you didn't ask the right questions.
Correct.
And you didn't take responsibility for understanding this. Because I want to understand this. I really, really want to understand it, but I don't understand it. You are like, you say something about the law. You're very clear about it. You put it in as few and most precise words that you can possibly use. And up goes a hand. So what you're saying is like, no, that's not what that's the opposite of what I said. How does that happen?
Well, and that right there is why you cannot spend 30 minutes talking about the law and feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing a concealed carry class, I 100% believe that you should spend, if you're one of these badass instructors that does a 10-hour class and you feel good about that, you should spend 5 hours talking about the law.
Yeah.
And the other 5 talking about whatever the fuck else you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Like you just have to. If I had 10 hours, shit, my classes used to be 6 hours, and I used to take 2 breaks between the laws. That means I am talking about the laws for 2 fucking hours.
Which, by the way, if you sat down and read the entire thing to yourself, would take you about 10 minutes to read it.
10 minutes, correct.
So it's not that it's that long or that complicated, but for some reason, people either A, don't pay attention very well, or B, like, I totally understand. It could be me not doing a good job of but I do this a lot, and I haven't done it as much as you, but the more I do it, the more comfortable I feel and more confident I feel. I don't understand when people don't understand this. Like, if I try to teach you how to line up the sights and you're having trouble with it, dude, I get it. It's not that easy. But if I try to tell you that there are only 4 circumstances where you can use deadly force, and none of them include protecting your car from somebody trying to steal your stereo, people are like, well, what if I spent like $500 on that stereo? I mean, it's very valuable. Somebody was arguing with me that they should be able to protect their horse under the same circumstances that they can protect themselves.
Correct.
And like, no, it's property. Well, it's not property to me. Okay, I understand that. But according to the state, it's property. And if you shoot somebody over a horse, you're going to jail.
Yeah.
Well, what if they're hurting the horse? Well, it's like somebody smashing your windshield, you know?
You can beat the shit out of them, but you can't.
You can beat the shit out of them.
Yes.
So
that's crazy.
To me, when people are formulating their self-defense plan and they don't understand the law, and they're like, well, I took a concealed carry class, and so, that means I know what I'm doing. And their concealed carry plan is shoot at anything that moves. Or their self-defense plan is shoot at anything that moves, or protect my 1979 El Camino from somebody trying to steal it, because you didn't understand what the law is. It's like, well, then you either didn't have a good class or you didn't pay attention.
Correct. Or you didn't give a shit.
Scott says, what about the redheaded stranger? I feel like I don't understand that reference.
If it's the redheaded stranger that I'm thinking about, she can come in whenever the fuck she wants. She can get cock all she wants.
So I think the biggest takeaway actually from this whole thing that happened a couple weeks ago is really in the context of other things that you've been through. And you've said this several times, none of them were the same. And you get people who are, there are well-respected instructors out there who believe that you should not teach how to shoot people with guns if you never actually shot somebody with a gun. And I'm like, how do you know that one experience has anything to do with another experience?
Correct.
I mean, what context applies in all situations that you can be like, well, I had that experience, so that means I am qualified to tell you about every other experience.
Correct. So the analogy that I've always used with that one is, because I've warned students who was like, well, this guy, he's been in a shooting, or I heard from this guy and he was been in a shooting. Like, that doesn't mean anything. I've been in 3 different circumstances, and I'll talk about them if the context is there, and then I'll talk about it. But it's you can't. And this is generally when I ask people, like, who's been in a car accident? And, oh, okay, cool. And then I ask people, what kind of car accident? Oh, I got T-boned. Okay, so now you know about rollovers. Like, no, I didn't get it. I was never in a rollover. I was like, no, but by that logic of me being in 1 shooting or 2 shootings or 3 shootings, and that giving me the ability to be an expert in every fucking shooting, is the same thing as if you get T-boned and now you're a rollover accident expert. You're not. Like, you understand what happened in your accident, but you don't understand what the fuck happened in a rollover, or somebody going off a cliff, or hitting or hydroplating or what the fuck ever. Like, it's yeah, sure, it's similar, but it's all at the same time very fucking different.
Yeah.
And it requires different skills, different emotions, different
Who's the real
cognitive skills.
Who's the real expert, by the way? Is the person who never gets in the accident in the first place.
What?
Mark said Edgar explained it best. I've never heard you say this, but this is totally something you'd say. That's what insurance is for. Invite him back next year. He gets the old TV. You get a new TV. Everyone wins.
Oh, really?
I love it. Yeah. So if
allegedly, Allegedly, you can come back next year and we'll just fucking.
You're still not invited. That's not an invitation in. I'm telling you, I'm not going to be home.
Yeah,
at
we
7 o'clock.
just don't want Flo to find out that there was a
Insurance
premeditated.
one of my uncles got caught committing insurance fraud.
Yeah,
He had a bunch of heavy equipment. I think it was a dump truck and a backhoe,
uh-huh.
and parked them out in the middle of the desert and reported them stolen and collected the money, and ended up getting caught. Yeah. So if you're driving down the road and here comes a car and you're like, oh, what do I do? And you get hit and then you go flying across the road, you get T-boned. Okay, now you're an expert at getting T-boned. But that doesn't mean you're good at driving. That doesn't mean you're qualified to teach other people how to drive.
Yeah.
Like getting caught in a bad situation doesn't really make you an expert. Now, what you do may or may not be competent in the situation once you're faced with that situation. But while I was on the phone with you a couple of Saturdays ago, I had just gassed up the truck, and I was pulling a pretty big trailer behind this truck. And to get out of the parking lot, I had to just go around behind the gas station and go out that way because I couldn't make the sharp turn to get out of the gas station. And this crackhead, this Pueblo crackhead, is trying to get my attention. And he tries to wave me down, and he's acting like he knows me. So he's waving like, hey, it's good to see you. You know, can you stop? And I just look him straight in the eye and I just keep driving. I'm like, no way I'm stopping for a crackhead in Pueblo. That is not happening. So I get back on the road and I'm like, yeah, I think I'm going to go get some Subway. So I cross over, I think it's Pueblo Boulevard or something like that.
Yeah.
I pull into the Subway and you call me right as I'm walking into the Subway. So I walk back out of the Subway and I'm standing there and this crackhead literally just appears.
The same one.
The guy who I just ghosted in real life is now walking straight towards me. And so, you know, I created some distance, and even though I'm talking to you, I'm watching him the whole time, and I'm not posturing at him.
Yeah.
I'm not taking my eyes off this guy, you know. And he kind of looks at me and he kind of doesn't know what to do, and he keeps on walking, you know. And I'm like, I don't think the guy was going to stab me. I really don't.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going to give him the chance to either.
Correct.
You know, and I have been in a few situations that were very close to being muggings, and I felt like I handled the situation well. I didn't get mugged. One of them was get in the car. Let's go right now. Like, hey, bud, you got a second? No. Jump in the car. Tell my buddy Josh, like, go. And I'm like, I'm not exaggerating. We were in the ghetto of Rochester, New York. We were in a gas station that's selling 25-cent cigarettes, and we are.
That was recently then.
This was like 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
And we're surrounded by people who their attention is on nothing but us.
Yeah.
You know, two white guys in the wrong neighborhood at midnight buying beer and gas. And I've been in other situations where I was just like, you know, I feel like I avoided a bad situation.
Yeah.
I want credit for that.
It doesn't count.
TJ said that was my cousin. He just wanted $1 and my life.
My life.
Yeah. So I don't know if people know this, but a lot of muggings start out as like, hey, let me talk to this guy. And if he seems like a mark, dude, I'm just going to bust him. And if he's not, then I'll just play it off like I was just asking him a question.
Yeah, dude. It's well, and you get to this point where it just, and this is kind of where I'm at right now, where you're fresh off of an incident, you're fresh off of a potential, and now you're having to talk yourself down.
Yeah,
because now the fucking wind blows and it fucking shifts the building a certain way, or shifts the roof, or exhaust stack or whatever, and now you're fucking doing fucking barrel rolls with your AR-15.
War you never do.
And
that ain't real life.
now you're fucking doing fucking cartwheels and shit with your AR-15 in the fucking store. Like, what the fuck was that? And then it's just the bushes just moving.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're at that point where it's just that's also not healthy.
That's not fun. And
No.
like, I mean, part of it's because you're probably still there in the same spot. You know, like if this
Correct.
happened at your business and then you had a home to go to, you probably feel differently.
Correct.
But you're still going to be on edge no matter what.
No matter what.
So, and I mean, that's something that we talk about in the class as well, the aftermath stuff. And that's a very personal thing. Just because you feel one way doesn't mean other people are going to feel that way.
Correct.
I had a woman in my class who this was like about a month ago. She's this little old lady, and she was, you know, like, I'm in this class because I'm a bounty, or I work with a bondsman. I'm a bounty hunter, you know, or whatever. And I'm like, oh yeah. She goes, I had to shoot a kid one time. And she's like, I told him to stop and he wouldn't stop. So I just shot him in the leg. I said, you going to listen now? You know? And I was just like, wow, that is a totally different situation. I bet you when that was over, she was at Wendy's just being like, I told that little motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's totally different situation. And so just because you're feeling hypervigilant doesn't mean that anybody else in this situation is necessarily going to feel that way.
Correct. It's weird how you and I are weird about certain things. What you're hyper vigilant about and the way that I am, and
yeah, some dog comes through my neighborhood and poops on my grass. I'm like in the window, like Malcolm X with the the 30 cal rifle.
Yeah. So really quick, Shamel, I already answered, but the answer is yes. You can use a taser. No, but it just, you're one of these people. So you had a telemarketer or a salesman come to your door, and you fucking ran that fucker down. You were about to shoot him, and he's like, "I'm just fucking trying to sell you stuff." And
it's the worst job ever.
So I was thinking about this because Rat was like this last weekend. So and I thought about it. I was like, it's kind of the same thing, but in two completely different things. Because the guy I chased down was white. I have a hard time trusting people with keys. Like I have no reason not to give Rhett a key other than I just don't trust him.
You probably just don't trust him to lock the door correctly.
I don't trust him like anybody. It's nothing personal. It's just I have a hard time giving people keys. So I haven't given anybody a key other than myself and my wife. And my wife barely made the key.
I'm a part owner, and I don't.
Correct. And that's mostly because it just hasn't happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, even that. And then you, on the other hand, like fucking everybody's got a fucking key. Like this person's got a key.
Leaving keys outside your door under a rock. Here's the keys.
Fucking key for you, key for you, key for you. But some salesman comes to your fucking door. You're like, what? You fucking piece of shit. Come knocking on my door. and me,
stay off the grass.
and me, on the other hand, if it was a telemarketer, I'd be like, yeah, like no big deal. Let's chop it up. Let's have a conversation. Let's do it. Meanwhile, it could be a fucking serial killer. Like, I don't know. It could 100% be a serial killer. But if somebody's like, hey, dude, we're partners now. Can I have a key to the fucking store? Like, nah. Nah, we're good. We're good on that shit. So anyways, Rhett, he was doing his class, and we finish up. He wraps up with all of his classes. He's like, where's my phone? He's like, I don't know where my phone is. If somebody fucking stole it, where the fuck's my phone? So I was like, well, let's check the cameras, dude. And then it was two ladies at the end, and one of them grabbed the phone, put it in her purse. She's like, "Oh, that's," and like instantly, "That's theft right there, fucking theft." I was like, "No, it could be." "No, did you see the way she grabbed it? That's theft." I was like, "No, I grab my phone pretty quick sometimes."
Happen, dude, if you didn't bedazzle your phone case, and
and I told him, I was like, "It's happened to me before," because I've told you this story. Some lady fucking grabbed my phone. So here I am emailing the entire fucking class, like, "Hey buddies, like one of you guys took my phone."
hey guys.
Hey guys. And I have some pretty valuable contacts in there. And he's like, no, but she grabbed it really fast and threw it in there. I was like, dude, I called her and she answered, and they're coming back. Like she fucked up. They're coming back. I think if they were stealing it, they wouldn't have answered. And
Yeah, who answers a stolen phone?
correct.
Unless you're just like getting on the phone and be like, hey, I bet you're asking about your phone, huh?
So in my conversation with the lady was she was like, "I was wondering how the fuck you got my phone." That's what she told me, like how you were calling me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "No." So I told her, "You got my friend's phone." She's like, "Well, we'll go back." And he's already fucking contacting NSA and the CIA and the friends that told him that we were going to be under martial law by the fucking 15th of last month. Because Rhett, and I only talk shit because I know he's listening. He pretends like he doesn't listen, but I know he listens. And because he was part of the crew, is just like, "Nope, I already heard it from the grapevine in fucking 15 minutes, fucking martial law right now. We're all under mandatory quarantine." So he's hitting up those fools, and then he's pinging the fucking satellites and the NSA and all that shit. Meanwhile, the poor fucker doesn't know how to read a fucking map. So he's like, "Where the fuck's that at?" It's like, "Dude, it's just Mississippi and Havana. How the fuck do you get there?" It's like, "Dude, it's just Mississippi and Havana." Like it's
you get on Mississippi and you stop in Havana.
So he's trying to do it.
I'm making fun of him, but dude, I get lost all.
Yeah. I'm pretty good at maps, only because fucking not having a place to go to and walking and shit like that.
Also, Denver is different than the Springs. Denver, you literally could get on Mississippi and drive until you hit Havana.
Correct.
From anywhere in the city, and you'll get there. And then so it takes him like 20 minutes just to figure out where the fuck this place at. And at this point, they're not back yet. So I'm like, okay, no traffic. They should have been here. I was like, okay, maybe they're not going to make it back. Well, what turns out is these ladies, even when I talk to them, they're like, fuck, we're already way at their destination. Mm-hmm.
So most likely what happened is they finished what they were doing there, eating or whatever the fuck. And then about an hour after I had talked to them on the phone, she calls like, "Hey dude, like where you at? Like I'm here. I told you I was going to bring the phone back. Nobody's here." So they brought the phone back, and Rhett calls as soon as the phone was at Thornton. He's like, "So they took it back then, huh?" I was like, "Yeah, dude, they fucking took it back. Like I've been telling you they're gonna fucking bring it back."
Yeah. And actually, when you first brought it up with me, you were like, somebody took Rhett's phone.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, what's wrong with people?
So no, and when I text you at that point, I was like, fuck, man. I kind of had already conceded, like, fuck, maybe I was wrong this time of giving. And that's the weird thing, like these people, I don't know who they are, but I was already, no, like they're not stealing your phone, dude. Like, why would they steal your phone? Like, because in my head, why the fuck would you come to a freaking concealed carry class, put your email address, put all that stuff, and then steal a phone? Like, I could see if you came to a gun store with nobody knowing your name and nobody knowing your email, nobody knowing any of that stuff. I could see that.
Yeah.
But registering for a class, donating, like fucking paying money.
Yeah.
Because they donated.
So I kind of give pretty much everybody the benefit of the doubt until I feel like you're encroaching on my personal space.
Yeah.
And so Shamel brought up Jehovah's Witnesses. I have a Jehovah's Witness temple down the street from my house. It's just not even a 1/10 of a mile down the street. So we get them kind of regularly at our house, and they keep leaving flyers on my door. And one day I just got sick of it. And so I took the flyer. I was taking my daughter somewhere, and we get in the car, and I've got the flyer. She goes, "Oh, what are you going to do with that?" I go, "You'll see." So I drive back to the Jehovah's Witness temple. I crumble it up, and I drive right past their front door, and I throw it at their front door, and I don't even stop the car. And she's like, "What did you just do?" And I was like, "Well, they left some trash on my door, so I just give it back to them." She's like, "What?" I was like, I wonder if they have a camera. I hope they do have a camera. Like, oh, Mitsubishi, that one's just down the street. Hey, maybe we shouldn't leave trash on their doorstep anymore.
That's funny.
Yeah, so I do get kind of weird about that kind of stuff. I am the guy who's standing on the street corner, mean mugging everybody who plays on the road. Like, you realize this is a 35. You're going at least 40.
Yeah. By the way, here's a key to my fucking spot that you can have.
Yeah. So, yeah, I can't explain it.
It's weird. No, I was thinking about that. I was like, fuck, like Isaac and I, we're fucking weird. Like and that was so interesting to me. There's like, we could be fucking partners in a thing. And like, no, I'm not going to give you a key. Fucking Raul and Moises, when they had camera equipment.
They have property inside the building.
Yeah, they decided to stop because of the COVID-19 thing. But they had their fucking somewhat valuable property at the fucking studio, and they're like, "Hey, can we get a key?" And I was like, "Nah, we're good." And they're like, "Well, I think we should have a key." I'm like, nah, I think until you start paying rent, we're good. And the whole time I was like, even if you pay rent, I don't think I'm gonna give you a key to this. I do not trust you.
Here's what I want you to do. I want you to bang on the windows till the cops show up, and I'll be there right about the time they get there.
So it's just this weird dynamic. It was like this complete stranger. If you say they're stealing shit, I'm like, no, they're not really stealing shit. Like they're good. Like and then people I work with, like, nah, you'd steal something from me. Like it's just
I really so I would. I don't want this to happen, but I kind of wonder. I don't want to wish. I'm not wishing this, but I am kind of wishing that I would have seen the way you would have reacted if you were there alone and the same thing happened. You probably wouldn't even have woken up. You probably been like, somebody's banging. I'm not answering the door. We're closed.
So with people who want to sell me shit. Mm-hmm. I just make them sell.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like, what the fuck you selling? Like, why should I buy your shit?
Thanks for joining us, Shamal. Great to have you.
Yeah, so all that stuff is just I've had the bike riders. Who the fuck are not the Jehovah's, but the Mormons. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let's chop it up. Like I got dinner going. Like, you want dinner? Like let's sit down. Let's fucking and start debating this shit. So, but yeah, I don't know how I would react overall.
Well, so I've had them come up and talk to me. When I lived in an apartment, they came up to me in the parking lot. They were like, "Can I help you carry your groceries?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, you can help me carry my groceries." And they're like, "You want to talk?" I'm like, "Nah, I don't want to talk." But I didn't feel confrontational about it.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's when do they come to your door? You
yeah.
know? And you're just like, leave me alone. This, like, I pay rent here, you don't, so leave. So,
but here's a key to my office. Fucking meet me there at the.
Yeah. I'm ready to give Mike Jenkins a key. Like, he's been there more than once. He's like, all right, you're good. You can have a key.
And here's the thing, like, Mike Jenkins is cool, and let's be honest, there's really nothing to steal at your spot. Like, like there's really,
and that's it.
Yeah.
Toilet paper.
But I'm fucking weird about that shit because for me, it's just like, what the fuck does Jenkins need? He's cool as fuck. Like, but what the fuck does he need a key for? And I'd be like, no, you steal my water. You fucking move it and you position it in a way that I don't like it, and then I have to be annoyed. And
the envelopes are supposed to be all facing the same direction. This envelope is not facing the same direction. You want to hear something funny, dude? I had not been had not been to the store in like a week, or to the classroom in like a week. And I show up to drop something off or grab something, I don't remember. And I put the key in and I turn it, and I felt no resistance. And I was like, yep, this door's been unlocked for a week.
Whoa. Who was the last one to go in? You?
Yeah.
Jeez.
The only one dumb enough to leave the door unlocked.
Jesus.
So you don't even need a key.
Until now that fucking
He's like a formality. It's like just putting a ring on it, you know? It's like, we all know where this is going, but just to make it official, here's a key.
Oh, dude.
The only thing in Isaac's place is your quotes on the board. Did you bring your kids to my classroom for them to make fun of my classroom?
Yeah, and then now they fucking told on me. I was gonna let it be a fucking surprise, but my fucking kids, they're kind of like you.
They can't keep their mouth shut.
They can't keep their fucking mouth shut. This is why you guys don't have kids. If you don't have kids, just don't do it. So now you know
all my secrets too.
So yeah, so now you know. I mean, you would have fucking seen them anyways, but now you're definitely gonna fucking see them.
Yeah. I was wondering how long it was gonna take for me to start taking crap from them about the way I have my classroom set up. Like, these two tables are too close together. You realize you would have more room to work the room if you had more separated.
And the fucking hilarious thing is, my kids have been doing classes a lot longer than you have.
Well,
So,
I know they can definitely fill up a parking lot better than me.
so they could probably fucking flow that classroom a lot more efficiently than most people can.
Yeah. Actually, I would like them to see what it looks like with all the chairs in. I genuinely would listen to their opinion. I'm not saying I would actually do what they're going to do, but I would be interested in hearing what they have to say.
Yeah.
And then I'd get annoyed. I'd be like, all right, that's enough. Shut up.
Why are you so right?
So there was a couple of my family members who are older than me by a lot. Disregarding other family members' opinions about certain medical conditions that are floating around right now. And it really irritated this person enormously that their opinion was not being taken seriously.
Yeah.
And I totally get it. And I'm like, yeah, it's frustrating. It's annoying. But when I'm 70 years old, I am not going to listen to anybody. I don't. I'm like, if I made it this far, I've earned the right to ignore everybody else's opinion. Everybody. And I'm going to do my own thing. And
my own
that sounds weird on Echo. Do we know? I don't know. I feel like
Oh, joke really quick.
Okay.
Joke really quick. Priest has the fucking diarrheas. So he's in his confessional in his booth thing, and then some dude walks by. He's like, "Hey, dude, I really need to take a shit, but I got some appointments. Will you fucking cover for me really quick?" He's like, "Well, I don't know what the fuck to do." He's like, "Well, you know, if you need help, there's altar boys here. They can help you out. But just sit there. I really need to take a shit." Fucking priest goes, takes a shit. Dude gets in the little fucking booth. Some lady comes in. He's like, "Oh, Father, forgive me for I have said all that shit." And she's like, you know, I took it up the butt. My husband wanted to fucking do the butt sex, and I allowed him to. And the dude's like looking for her in the book to see what the penis is gonna be for that shit. So he's like, "Fuck, I don't know what the fuck. There's nothing in the book." Grabs an altar boy, be like, "Hey, do you know what the priest gives for anal sex?" He's like, "Yeah, $20 and a lollipop."
Hey-o. You know, that's one group of people that is definitely not in the protected class. People you can't make jokes about. Anybody can tell a Catholic priest joke. That one's fair game. Jews, Catholics, anybody. I bet the Pope could get up and tell one and be like, good one.
He'd only laugh because he's covering it all up.
Yeah, it's funny, but it's true. Or it's
Shit.
funny because it's true.
And then he said he would put it in my butt. And he'd give me Jesus juice.
Dude, if you're not watching this and you just heard that, you're gonna think that was me. That was Edgar's voice. I have never heard him make that noise before. That was almost Elmo.
That's an altar boy, dude. He's like,
And then he was gonna give me some Jesus juice. And he said I'd go to heaven.
I'm not even laughing at the joke. I'm laughing at that voice. I would have never, if you played that for me prior to doing that, I would have been like, yeah, I don't know who that is, but it's not Edgar. No way he could do that.
And then he said, suck it from the straw. And then I was all like, oh, but it's a little ooey gooey.
oh man. Oh shit.
I don't even like. I wouldn't even have the guts to try that voice. I would feel too self-conscious. Have your kids heard that before?
Oh man, I do the altar boy voice all the time.
I guess so, because Seki's like, we would gather around and hear the choir boy's story. Oh my god. You sound like Elmo's older brother. That's what you sound like. You're like your syntax and your grammar is more correct than Elmo's, but the voice is pretty much the same. That's awesome.
And then I told him it was a little sour. But he said if I didn't swallow it, then I wouldn't be forgiven.
Okay, new challenge. Whenever you find out which sheriff's been spreading this rumor, you need to call that sheriff's office and start asking a bunch of stupid questions in that voice. Just waste their time.
Just waste their fucking time.
And every time they think you're you're pranking them, like, come on, this isn't funny anymore. Then you ask them like some really pointed question, like a very serious question, and then get them back on track, and then just start going off the rails again. And record it. Put it on.
I'd rather just sue them.
New episode of Crank Yankers. Yeah, that show was awesome. I haven't watched any of the new episodes, but I feel like all comedy that's on TV now has just been so neutered that I can't really expect to enjoy any of it. I have not watched a show that was produced in the last 3 years, I think. All the shows I watched are from prior to the Trump administration. So I'm betting.
Okay, boomer.
Okay,
boomer.
Okay,
boomer.
Okay,
boomer.
Okay,
boomer. Okay, boomer.
You got to just say boomer. With echo.
Bummer. 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 Bummer.
Because I just don't trust these writers to be able to produce anything funny anymore.
Yeah.
Now that everything's off limits.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's what can I say about that? Nothing.
What can I say? Although I guess Tiger King was produced in the last few years, but that wasn't really comedy on purpose.
You know what is going to be comedy on purpose?
Nicolas Cage playing Tiger.
Yep. Can you imagine being Nicolas fucking Cage and being so washed up that you get this phone call from your agent and you're like, well, I haven't fucking worked in 20 years. My last okay, decent movie was fucking Face Off. I guess I'm going to fucking play.
Lord of War was all right. Did you ever see Lord of War?
No.
He plays an arms dealer. It's like based on a true story.
No, I haven't seen that one.
Oh, it's all right. It's better than Face Off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because the Face Off was it was
Face Off was pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poorly executed, I think. But anyways.
And also very creepy.
Yeah. And then but to be this person and be like, yeah, I guess I kind of do resemble this fucking gay.
There's so way he's gonna be able to pull off that character.
No, dude. You know who they should have gone for that? Maybe like
Cruise.
Tom Cruise. No, I don't think Tom Cruise. Paris Hilton would have
Yeah.
done a decent job. Shit, I think Jim Carrey would have done a decent job at that.
Jim Carrey would have nailed that character.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey, the dude that plays Stewart on Mad TV.
Look what I can do.
I've never seen that guy in anything other than Stewart.
Oh, dude, that's just fucking hilarious.
Look what I can do.
That was the only sketch on Mad TV that was consistently Stewart. Oh.
Stewart.
Richard said he's got the meth game going on for him. You think Nick Cage is on meth? I doubt it.
I don't know. He's weird as fuck, though.
He is.
He's weird as fuck.
See, that Tiger King character, he's such a big personality that like you really have to embody him. And
oh, you know who would do a fucking fantastic job at playing him? And he already does a pretty good job at playing a character very similar to that. The homie from Reno 911.
Which one?
The main guy.
The main guy.
The gay guy. The main guy. Not the
Okay.
main guy.
Not the mean guy, the main guy?
The main guy. And he the lieutenant or huh?
The guy in the boots?
Yeah, what the fuck's his name?
I don't know. That show is so funny though, man.
What the fuck is his name?
They're a very underrated show. I know a lot of people liked it, but it never gets brought up in the category of funniest all-time shows. But that show is definitely up there.
Dangle, Lieutenant Dangle.
Dangle, yeah. Got my new boots. You're right, dude. Like he could do that, dude. He's got the accent.
Yeah, dude. They missed it.
I just pictured him saying that, and he's dressed as the Tiger King. Got my new boots. And do a little shopping. With the little
that shit.
short, yeah,
Just give him a fucking tiger, dude.
yeah. Oh, he could totally do it.
I
You know
totally.
who I'd like to see play that role? Although I don't know if he would actually be Tiger King, but I think it would be hilarious to watch him play that. Is Steve Buscemi or Buscemi or however,
Buscemi. Yeah.
because that guy is he's got crazy on lock. Like he can play crazy.
Yeah. No, he's one of the most underrated fucking actors out there.
Yeah. Oh man, he's so good in Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
And like he doesn't even get like the headline title credit, but I think he's got the most lines in that whole movie. But everybody talks about what's the other guy's name? The guy that's stuck in the middle with you guy. Have you seen Reservoir Dogs?
Never.
Oh,
Never.
oh man. You probably well, I don't know if you get bored or not. It is kind of a slow movie, but there are some really high points in that movie. Some really high points.
Yeah.
Um,
Is there naked ladies?
no.
Oh.
None of Tarantino's movies have that. Sometimes they'll have naked dudes, but he doesn't ever do naked ladies.
Weird.
Closest he got was Grindhouse, but that was just scantily clad ladies, not naked.
That's
Oh, and Dusk Till Dawn, he had was it Selma Hayek?
yeah.
Yeah, a high watermark of all Tarantino movies.
Hayek. So
I'm
that's
like,
that's weird to be a director, but like I will never sink that low to have naked ladies here, but I will use the N-word like a motherfucker.
the whole opening dialogue to Reservoir Dogs is some of the most like grotesque discussion about Madonna that you will ever hear.
But I bet you Madonna was just like, well, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, actually, one of the actors in the movie had a problem with that scene because they were friends with Madonna
Uh-huh.
and they didn't want to do it.
And then Madonna was like, no, fool, you good.
And it's funny because Tarantino has almost all of the speaking in that because he's the one with the theory. And so he does all the talking. And he's just going off on Madonna. And it's really kind of gross. Yeah. So what is the name of this dude? Hold on. I always forget his name. Michael Madsen.
You know, the fucking naysayers are like not doing it. Usually we say something and like, we're pretty doing. Maybe I've talked enough shit to where they're like, we're not gonna say anything now.
Tomorrow is a holiday, so
What's tomorrow?
Saturday.
That's the holiday.
So got a question. Oh, we want to answer Mark's question.
I got a question for you. Got an email a while ago saying something about possibly needing a new cert because someone wasn't teaching anymore. No, a lot of people misunderstood that. Nobody stopped teaching. Bottom line is no, you don't need a new certificate. So, Mark, you do not need a new certificate. Yeah, I get a lot of people. I got an email is like, I need a new cert because there's a guy that doesn't work with you guys anymore. I was like, where the fuck did you hear this shit? Like, and what email did you get that? But no, that's not the case.
Yeah. I'm guilty of the same thing when it comes to emails. I will not read my emails very closely, and then I'll respond to them. And people are like, no, that's the opposite of what I just said. Because I get a lot of email, and my eyes kind of glaze over. So
this is another thing why we need to talk about the laws more, because we cover how long the certificates are good for, and I get this question a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot.
I'm considering signage in the classroom.
Dude, I think you'd still get questions.
They're like, that sign up there, is that still accurate? Yes, Casey's right. It's 10 years. Yes.
10 years.
Yeah.
You got to renew for 10 years. Yeah, but
Mama Day is Sunday. So
talk about the importance, like that right there. Like, it's just a big thing on why it's so crucial to spend a lot of time talking about the laws.
Now, on the flip side, I never took a concealed carry class. I just did the instructor thing, and that's how I got my certificate. So I sat through your class several times, and then I read the law and everything, but I never took it in as a student in somebody else's class.
Correct.
So I don't know how much of it I would have remembered after taking it one time, which is getting back to my whole point, which is like, I don't care how good you think your class is. The most important part of the class to me is safety. The second most important part is the law.
The laws.
And people can't remember the law. They can't remember it. Like, it's a special person that leaves the class and it's like, you know what? I'm going to memorize this.
Yeah. Well, and it's a lot of information in such a short amount.
It's a lot of information in a short amount of time, but you could go read it for yourself and you very easily could memorize it. Not word for word.
LexisNexis.com/hot topic/Colorado. LexisNexis.com/hot topic/Colorado. If you want to read specifically the laws about concealed handgun permits, that is 18.1 part 2. 1812 part 2. Look at me fucking up. 1812 part 2. 1812 part 2. 18.1.704 is the self-defense laws. 18.1.704.5 is the Make My Day law.
And 18.4.706. What is that part?
18.4.706. If I'm not mistaken, that's either
705. I mean 704, 704.5, and 705.
705. 18.1.705.
Yeah, sorry.
18.1.705. If I'm not mistaken,
No. 18.1. I'm sorry. See, we're retarded.
18.1.705. That should be the protection about property, like you being in control of a property.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Look it up because I'm not sure.
Yeah, I use it in my class, but I talk about all three of them together, so I forget which one is which.
I never talk about 705.
I couldn't shoot my wife's ex if he broke into my house after getting out of prison because we know of each other. Yeah.
We should do that one of these days. Have people quiz me on the fucking laws.
Like a game show?
Game show, dude. Yeah, see? So I was right. Use the physical force in defense of premises.
Okay.
So that's 18.1.705. I never really talk about that because it ultimately comes down to you can't shoot a motherfucker unless they're in violation of 18.1.704. And that's basically what it says. However, use deadly physical force only in defense of himself or another, as described in Section 181704.
So is 18705 the use of force?
So physical force in defense of the
Including,
premises.
yeah, okay. So
And only deadly force if the
part of the law,
aggressors
yeah, this is a part of the law I don't like to talk about because people really get mixed up on that, which is you cannot use deadly force to defend property, but you can use physical force to defend property.
Yeah.
People are like, well, what's the difference? Well, punching somebody in the face is a lot different than shooting them in the face.
Yeah.
They're like, well, you could kill them with a punch to the face. Yeah, you certainly could. That
Sure
could
can.
happen. But under the law, shooting them in the face is a lot different than punching them in the face.
Yeah.
And I get this question a lot too. Well, okay, so I don't want to use deadly force. So I'm just going to shoot him in the leg.
Yeah.
No. That is deadly force.
No matter what.
Yeah.
No matter
So,
what.
but the thing is people live in echo chambers where they talk about this with their friends and family, and they're like, well, I heard, and they're like, oh, that's what I heard too. Well, I had a cop who told me, oh, that must be right. And they get in these echo chambers, and so they repeat it over and over again until it just becomes gospel to them. And then trying to overcome that with telling them what the law actually says is actually pretty hard to do because it kind of goes against what's already been ingrained
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. And
in their.
so if you guys read down here the case notes, this should
And then you get-
changes.
Somebody, and this is what happened to him, and you're like, well,
Oh, you're
Mhm.
starting to break up, dude.
did I lose you? Did you drop?
Did you? Yeah, you dropped.
Don't- I think you dropped.
You. Are you still there?
I'm looking at the Facebook feed. We're both frozen. Oh,
Is the audio
Can you hear
still
me
there
now?
though?
I'm here. I can hear you.
Okay. Well,
I can hear you.
I can hear you. So if
Can
you can
hear
hear
you?
me
Can you hear-
and I can hear you, I guess
Okay,
we're
we're good.
doing okay. Everybody's
And you will respect my
Sorry.
so if you
Just
guys
testing the audio, making sure we're actually back.
so
Um,
if you can't see what's going on,
Kill someone punching me in the face.
yeah,
Did you see Christopher's comment?
you broke up
I couldn't kill
completely.
someone punching in the face. I tried to.
Yeah, you're coming up really
da.
broken up. Like I can't hear all your audio, so I think this is a good spot to just be like, we're good. I can no longer hear you.
Type. Bloop, 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 bloop.
All right, guys, this has been the podcast for today. We're just going to call it good. Everybody else can hear us. Isaac and I are having a hard time listening to each other, so we're just going to call it good. I can see you yelling. I can't hear you, though.
I wasn't really yelling. Facebook dropped us.
Completely?
Yeah, well, it looks like it. Yeah. It says
Huh.
we're live, but it went to just the background.
Oh, huh.
Watch everybody be able to hear us, and we're just like, hello.
I
Refill your Wi-Fi. Ah, shoot. I forgot to refill my Wi-Fi.
drop another quarter.
Well,
I guess we'll just call it good here then.
great job.
Great job, I guess. Thanks a lot, Elon Musk, for not fucking maintaining.
Internet, Elon.
If you're so smart, Elon, how come I ain't got fast internet? Huh? So, all right. So everybody's saying we're good on Facebook. Basically, everybody just heard everything we said.
That was weird, man.
Yeah. So I guess we'll just call it good for this one. Appreciate everybody that stuck around, that hung around on Facebook, YouTube. Two YouTubes. We were on the Gun Expert podcast. Expect a lot more from the Gun Expert podcast. I think Juanabe the Luchador is going to be visiting some local gun stores and fucking hanging dick out there and telling you at these fucking locations, letting you know which one's a good one, which one's a bad one, while he's at the fucking store.
While he's at the store, huh?
While he's at the fucking store. So we'll see how many people. If you know of a gun store owner that has the balls to allow Wannabe the Luchador to come to the store,
I got the number in my head of how many gun stores are going to be okay with this.
oh man, I've already talked to one.
It's in my envelope right now, and the answer is 0.
0. So you're wrong. I've already got one committed.
Oh, okay.
I've already got one committed. So hopefully I'll be doing it next week, and hopefully I'll have a video up of me going to their store, and I mean Wannabe going to the. Oh, I'll be there too because I have to film.
You got to film, yeah.
Yeah, I have to
You
film.
got to drive him too. He doesn't have his license.
He doesn't have his license, so
he's gonna be like, Wannabe the insult luchador. It's a pretty nice store here. For me to poop on.
How much do you charge for background checks? What? You know that's illegal, right?
I'm gonna get my cousin Poncho Villa to come down here and straighten you out.
So, all right, guys, I appreciate everybody who stuck around for all this nonsense stuff. Haters, we're about to sue you. Larimer County, we're about to sue you. All you motherfuckers can eat a fat fucking bowl of dick.
We love you all.
We love you all.
Nothing but love. Nothing but
Remember, motherfuckers, wash your ass, wash your titties. If there's a single lady, if there's a single lady out there that's into married men, holla at your boy, motherfuckers.
married women.
Oh yeah, married women too, because my wife would take you as well. Anyways, appreciate you guys.
Good job, everybody.
Good job. You guys did good.
My soundboard's dead.